So hello and welcome back after the break on our English stage. Maybe before I introduce our speakers here on Czech stage, currently you can see the presentation from DPD, so more from the logistics. But here on our stage, I would love to welcome Peyu Petrov from Getinge. He's a CRM Director there, and Jakub Šimoni from Enehano. And they both will discuss now how Getinge is capitalizing on digital transformation as a key for their success. So welcome on our stage.
Thank you, Susanna. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Getinge session. Let me introduce myself. My name is Jakub Šimoni. I'm working as delivery manager in Enehano Solutions, and currently I'm happy to be part of the Getinge project, where I'm trying to bring bridges between Getinge business and our development team. And here on the stage, I would like to welcome Peyu Petrov from Getinge. Hello, Peyu.
Hello, Jakub, and thank you for having me here. I'm pleased to be part of this exciting event today.
Great. Peyu, could you introduce yourself to give a few words about you?
Sure. Peyu Petrov is my name, and I'm leading the CRM initiative within Getinge, how it's pronounced in Swedish. I don't have the typical IT background. I have an MBA in banking and financing, and somehow I end up doing CRM in the last 12 years of my life, 13 already, going through hardcore Sibyl, Oracle implementations projects, then moving slowly into the cloud with Salesforce, and now ending up in the leading position of the CRM initiative within Getinge.
Thank you. So what we have today for you, we will talk about the transformation, mainly of the sales process, but let's say of overall company. And because we are coming from medical tech industry, I would like to offer one parallel. And the parallel is the transformation of the sales is somehow similar to the surgery. Nobody likes surgery. You can ignore surgery for a time being. You can postpone it, but by the end, you know you have to take it. And honestly, the sooner you will take it, the better for you. And we will show the examples, and we will discuss today about how it's important to take the right moment. So the agenda for today will be introduce you to the Getinge, or getting introduced to you. We will speak about the motivation and the challenges which leads to transformation of Getinge. We will have a look on achievements which Getinge managed to achieve in the last few years, and we will discuss about the future. Peyu, could you introduce Getinge?
Yes, Getinge is a company with a quite long history, founded in 1904 in a small village in Sweden. Our headquarters is a little bit south in Gothenburg. We generated last year roughly 3 billion euros of net sales, mainly through hospitals, but also selling to pharma and laboratories. We have a 10,000 plus employees, and the most important thing is we are presented on more than 125 countries, markets. Yeah.
Looking to the products, what's your main key products?
We are focusing on mainly on five areas. Starting with the intensive care, it's especially in this area we had quite astonishing, challenging, unexpected year. Some of our attendees might have heard about us. We are the market leader for lung ventilators, which were heavily demanded in the last months, and we were fighting in the, let me say, in the very front, the pandemic, and were challenged very much by by the markets in this area. Very successful year, I need to say. But nevertheless, we are very strongly also represented in the cardiovascular business with not only with equipment, but also with very important disposables. Our heart of the company was a little bit earlier around the operating rooms and everything that we supply to equip the world, like tables, lights, pendants. We are strongly presented also in the sterile reprocessing, and as I said, also we have an area that is dedicated to the life science and biopharma.
Looks like complex product portfolio, I guess with specific markets. But talking about the markets, where are you present mainly around the globe?
Yeah, basically it's doing business in 125 countries means we are across the globe, everywhere to find. And our biggest market is by far the US, but we have also our footprint in Asia Pacific and also in our core markets. Talking about the markets, it's also interesting to say that I was fortunate in the last 10 years to do business and do projects with all these markets and to learn about the specifics and the way how we do business there. And it's absolutely amazing to see how different this might be. There are markets where we operate in a direct business model, or there are markets where we have almost 100% coverage with the indirect channel, so going to distributors or dealers. We have also markets like China where we have 50-50. So it's quite a mix of the way how we do business. Also, it's interesting to mention that we have different dynamics in the market. So looking into a mature market like Germany or France, different parameters are driving the business. So you're not growing your business through acquiring so many new customers, but you're trying to grow your footprint within existing customer group. Whereas in China, we see a new hospital opening its doors every day. So there's a totally different approach in China. And also one thing to mention is that we have markets where we operate very much driven by other organizations like called group purchasing organizations that bring different, parameters into the, let me say, development of a deal.
I can imagine that operating on this, let's say, specific markets and regions would be challenge, one of the challenges. But if you could sum up, let's say, main challenges for last few years, what it would be?
Absolutely. I mean, it's like, just to say it's in the last 10 years, I've seen a tremendous development in the area of the medtech industry. So driven by the evolving, medtech sector and also the demands of the customer. So there is a simple example, which I always say. When I started my job at Getinge, I met certain people that had, let me say, kind of an old-fashioned, quite dusty sales strategy. Simply like the customer was buying yesterday, so the customer will buy also tomorrow. It simply does not work anymore. That's not possible to sustain this level. We sense increasing pricing pressure. There is a price erosion on the market, also on our integrated margin. We also sense that the customer is driving us very much from a different angle. It's not only about quality, but the customer is looking for a fair trade-off between quality and price. We see also competitors from everywhere entering the market, a globalized market, which is not preventing you to go to everywhere where you want and put your products. And those competitors are putting a lot of pressure on us. And to be honest, they are also improving the quality of their products. One important point is the purchasing organization I mentioned also earlier. This is a total shift of how and where decisions are taken today in comparison to the past. simply doing business a couple of years ago was a little bit up to the clinical personnel, up to the doctors and nurses to say we buy certain equipment because of the functionality, because it delivers the best output, the best, I don't know, patient's experience and whatever. So these people, they are still important for us, but having organizations that bundle the requirements, the needs for tens or hundreds of hospitals, it gives you a different perspective. There are different key stakeholders now in the game, and we need to be aware of it, and this was driving the change very much. The last point is quite known for everyone. I think here it's people speak about digitalization everywhere, and they understand also different things about digitalization. But to be honest, looking at the medtech industry, we are quite late in the game. So we cannot be compared to automotive or, I don't know, telecommunication. But nevertheless, in the last years, we are moving also towards being more data-driven, towards using AI more and more for enriching also our knowledge about the customer. And this is a trend that we cannot miss, and we need also to participate in this change. And all these parameters, they have been driving the change in the whole organization, in not only as a structure, but also the whole processes, they changed from, I know, from what was 10 years ago and what we live today.
Well, the list of challenges and risks which you point out, I guess, is quite huge. But as I see, Getinge is still top producer and still top footprint on the market. I guess you have managed to mitigate these risks. What you do concretely? What the steps you took in order to be successful?
I think it's clear that there is no way forward without IT. Looking at IT as a cost center was something from the past. So IT is a major driver of business processes and participates in this change. And the change happened actually a couple of years ago, where we needed to take a quite important decision for the company, where the journey with the CRM goes. What is driving the CRM of today? What are the challenges of today, and what will be there in the future? So one important taking is don't buy a Salesforce. I mean, it's like don't buy anything if you don't know where you're going. Just make your mind, make your thoughts. What is your strategy? What do you need to answer today? What is coming up front? For us, it was a clear decision. At this moment, we chose Salesforce as our partner for the future because we firmly believe that the technology that they offer is not only helping us today, but will also give us the answers that we look down the road. And this was quite a substantial decision for us. So from there on, we started, let me say, looking for solutions, defining with business where we need to start first, what is the most pressing issue. And coming back to the point that I just referred to, which were driving the challenge, the change in the transformation, is some, let me say, I would like to give you some answers on the IT side, because this is where we think we support business and we are a strong partner for them. So talking about price pressure, price erosion, what can we do there? How can we give business something in their hand that can, I don't know, help them to drive and to know what is needed at what moment, what can go to the customer, what has the right price, the correct configuration to secure that the customer receives at the very end in his printout, a simple thing, printout. But the only one thing that the customer receives from you is the printout, that on this printout you have the correct products, the correct configuration with the correct price and discount. So for us, it was quite clear that our complex portfolio can be only managed by a powerful solution like configure, price, and quote. And this was our answer. We can manage within our solution now, which is sitting on our platform, which is our also vision to drive our initiative as a platform. We enriched our platform with a CPQ, and now within this CPQ, we can manage everything. So it's basically starting from list price, contract price, whatever prices you can receive and manage, and flexibly, let me say, adapt your quote to the needs. Most importantly, also be always aware of the margin that you generate out of these products, approve the quote and send it to a customer. Very important thing, well appreciated by business, and one of the major pillars in our platform. Talking about the new competitors entering the market, I mean, it's like probably some of you out there, you may think this is absolutely, I know, a topic from the past. It was also possible in the past. Yes, it's a very simple topic, but I've seen quite frequently people that tell me that it's somehow it does not work so well. It's about the process. It's about how you define your competitors on a global scale. And what we enabled in our application is that there is a unified view on the competitors. We have enabled and equipped also our business with the necessary tools to track the competitors, to analyze the competitors, to learn from where we lose against certain competitors and where we win against them. What are the reasons for losing and what are the reasons for winning? So basically learning from your failures and enriching our, let me say, processes for the future. It's quite a challenge. The next point is the purchasing organizations. I mean, this is absolutely a crucial point for the success. You need to know as business, you need to have a clear picture which hospitals are served by which purchasing organization. So you need to have the chance to easily access the data and see, okay, purchasing organization A is dealing with, I don't know, is covering 100 hospitals. But on the other hand, I would like to go to the hospital and I see, okay, the hospital in Munich is served by this organization for product area A and by this organization for product area B. And we can see also white spots where they are not served by or covered by a purchasing organization. And this view is very, very important for our business to be able to receive the data at the right time in the right way. So it can be consumed easily and also accessed easily. One important point for the purchasing organization is we have contracts with them. So signing a contract with them binds you for a certain period of time to stay on a certain price level. So better for us to sign a contract that is profitable. How do we know if a contract is profitable? Simply we have a tool and a solution that can simulate a purchasing organization contract with several thousands of items covered and to see what is the profit out of it. So this is simple things that help us to drive this area. Talking about digitalization, as I said, is for us is the change to be more data driven. And I need to say this is not a simple thing. This is a mindset that needs to change and the culture that needs to change. We are trying to be the best medtech company in the world, delivering high quality. So we need to deliver also the same. We have to deliver also the same feeling to our users. And it means we try to generate and fill up their pipeline with certain opportunities based on data. So we know we have data in our company. You know what is your installed base. You know what is your what are your contracts and when they are running off. You know where you probably can sell new contract. Why you don't simply reuse this information sitting in your database somewhere and trigger automatical, let me say, opportunities. Or on the other hand, we are also learning from external data using AI, crawling data from hospitals, enriching our let me say, hospital profiles where you can see that a hospital is doing certain procedures, cardiovascular procedures, but is not using the amount of disposables that is, let me say, covering this procedure. So you have a white spot and you have an upselling possibility here. So these things are now coming more and more in our daily business. And I'm really happy that the company is making this turn to be not so much guts-driven selling, more data-driven, because data is king, and we know it, and clean data is absolutely a must.
Right. I think with data quality and cleaning the data, I think it's a common, let's say, challenge that we need not only have a lot of data, but let's say we need to have sharp data and actual data. I think it's a common challenge. But it sounds pretty good. Can we have a look on some figures from CRM program?
Absolutely. I mean, you see the figures. For me, it's really important that having the right partner in terms of tool, having the right partner in terms of implementation partner, and the right organization like governance and owners of this initiative really accelerated and boosts also our performance. In a couple of years, we managed to roll out our solution into 22 countries on 5 continents. So I think it's an achievement that everyone in my team can be proud of, as well also business. And you can see also one important thing is for me is the 95% of the intended process coverage. So I think this is quite amazing. We still have a journey in front of us, but as of today, the numbers are quite impressive.
Indeed. I think you will have always some areas which will be somehow specifics, and maybe it's not, let's say, valid to have 100% of processes, because always there are some exception. But in overall, I guess pretty good achievements, pretty impressive. Based on, let's say, current situation and current state, what do you plan for the future to continue the grow and not to be, let's say, fall asleep?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the journey continues, definitely. For us, what you can see here, it's also, I think it's also very natural for other companies. We all talk about customer centricity, but somehow living the customer centricity is not that easy. And for us, we are, let me say, putting now really the customer in the midst of our doing. And we have the goal to that different functions and areas, when they look at the customer, they need to look at the same customer with the same data. They need to consume the same information. And this is something that comes with the, let me say, consolidation of the platform. So we want to serve our front people, the people in the field, with one platform that is not only, let me say, targeting sales, but also marketing, service, and also equipping them with the different, let me say, tools they need. Definitely, marketing automation is something that we are driving further. E-commerce, exciting new channel for us. It's definitely going to be something for the future. And a simple thing is, I let for the end, is you need to listen to your customers. So simple things like capture the voice of the customer in terms of, I know, NPS score, or let me say, sending a survey at certain point of time to ask whether the customer is satisfied with the services you do, and let me say, store this information back into your application, will enrich also our understanding of the customers.
Right. Peyu, thank you for insight which you have provided. I think it was really interesting, and there are, let's say, really specific areas which are, let's say, some areas are in common, but I think you did pretty good job. And based on the points which we have discussed, I would like to propose 3 key takeaway messages on closure of this session. The first message will be listen to the market signals. As we have discussed, the markets are rapidly changing nowadays, and if you don't hear the signals, it could happen that you are out of the market quite soon. The second message which I would like to point out is trust to your people and use their expertise combined with partners, because partners could bring to your organization best practices from the market, and you can then use this combined knowledge and abilities and for future transformation and for successful change. Mm-hmm. The last one, I would say, build good technology base for future growth. Don't look only to the current issues and current challenges, but look forward to the future. And I believe that with the Salesforce platform, which you have chosen and we as well, Salesforce is pretty good platform for the future growth.
Absolutely.
Peyu, thank you. And I would ask, let's check the questions which we have. I will stop sharing, and hopefully everything is working correctly. And let's check the questions. So first question would be, you mentioned critical care and lung ventilators. Have you managed to satisfy demand during this pandemic year?
I do believe that nobody of let me say, of the manufacturers of lung ventilators was able to satisfy the demand. It was overwhelming. Let me just think couple of interesting facts. Back in, I think, 2020 February, I had a call with the global sales responsible for the critical care area, and he mentioned that he's getting calls every day from countries and governments all across the globe, even countries we haven't even sold a single ventilator to, that demand 200, 400, 500 machines. Italy is definitely was one with the 5,000, and nobody can produce that amount of ventilators. We needed to bind our, let me say, strength together with our competitors. For example, Draeger or other big competitors that produce per year around about 10,000 ventilators. In order to reach some level of, let me say, delivery that is acceptable, we also did something that is amazing. I mean, people that work in production, they know that increasing the production by 50% is something amazing. We increased our production by 160%, so we produced 26,000 ventilators in last year. And what's more important in let me say, it's also important to think in a different way. We couldn't achieve 26 ventilators with our own stuff, so we got help from Volvo, another Swedish company, which handed over people to work in a night shift. So amazing achievement in this area.
Amazing story, definitely. Second question, what are the purchasing organization? You touched it already, but we don't know them from Czech market. They are not so frequently used.
Yeah, they are big animals out there in the market. They can be on a multi-level. It's just imagine a couple of hospitals bringing their purchasing departments first in a small group. This group is then connecting to other groups and binding these demands and this request to a even larger group. And all of a sudden you have an organization that comes to you not with couple of tables or couple of, 100 disposable items that are needed, but they are thousands and 10,000. So the numbers are totally different. The pressure is different. The players in this whole, journey are also different. So very exciting way of doing business. And I do believe that they are also approaching the European markets, and we see the consolidation also here. It might be that you'll see it soon in the Czech Republic as well.
I can imagine they are pretty strong players then, and it could be quite tough to negotiate with them, right? If they have such a power.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we will see on our market. And the last question, how exactly Salesforce platform can help in improving of level of public healthcare services?
That's an interesting question. Not in this area of of expertise of the healthcare services, but I do believe that Salesforce and the flexibility what the tool brings enables you to connect to different type of sources and to bring data to the people also in the healthcare service, real-time data also about patients. And we have seen this one also in the COVID numbers brought to the, let me say, in a different way, directly into the hospital or to different healthcare authorities. I think it's at the very end, it's all about how flexible your platform is and how you want to, let me say, connect it to different sources. I mean, Salesforce is also bringing you an AI on top, which can also help you to derive certain conclusions out of the data that is fed by different, let me say, organizations. So I think it's all about sharing and connecting the different players in the market with the right data at the right time. So definitely Salesforce is one that can achieve this one.
Mm-hmm. You have as well some small software division, but I don't think you plan to migrate your software to Salesforce now, right?
No, it's there are no plans to migrate to Salesforce, but we definitely see the Salesforce, let me say, the division delivering software to the hospitals as a key player in our portfolio. Simply having strong support, technology support when it comes to, I know, scheduling your operating, let me say, procedures, when tracking your patient flow from the beginning, from the entry until you release the patient, having all the data available and sharing the data, it's a very powerful, let me say, selling proposition.
Great. Peyu, thank you for answers, and definitely thanks for interview and really interesting information which you shared. Looking forward.
Thank you, Jakob. Thank you very much as well, and
for
have a good day.
Thank you, guys. Have a nice day. See you in virtual world. Bye-bye.